was at Maroochydore in 1980 as a nipper with my nipper friends, just staying there in the caravan park right on the beach.
I've seen some old film, you know, and never mind your club shirts and everything, we all turned up looking daggy, and it's just a totally different time.
Yeah, I'm a dreamer, a shaker, a mover and risk taker, and I'm gonna give it all that I got. Yeah,
We walked into a cafe just a few days before the championship started, and there was a blackboard outside the cafe getting all the odds for the Ironman. And all the big names were there, the guys like Robert Chapman, Greg Allen, Robert Ney, the Olympian, but no Grant Kenny. And because Grant Kenny, of course, back in those days was a kid, was a junior, and he decided to line up in both the senior and the junior Ironman championship, and no one had ever attempted that.
Look, it's a bit hard to, you know, for me to sort of not say, you know, that the Australian Championships in Maroochydore was my best memory. I was trying something that, you know, that I believed that I wanted to have a go at. I had a dream and I wanted to attack it, and that was the place that I had the chance to do it.
we feel alive in the light, feel alive in the
Here's a wave for Kenny. Is he going to push over? He's got a chance. Pushing very, very hard as Ney is on the wave, so is Kenny. And it's going to be Chapman. There's three great bits of surfing there.
now wherever we go.
Not much separating the competitors now as they're in the middle of the broken water. A few waves to go. We see Kenny of Alexander Headlands just getting clear into the green water now. And because if he hits those turning buoys first, he's got the advantage of picking the chops up on the return back to the beach. It's Kenny in the middle, Ney on the right-hand side, and Chapman on the left-hand side, as these three great competitors are now in the area they can get the assistance. And there's Grant Kenny getting the first break of the day.
And listen to the roar from the crowd here, a huge crowd here at Maroochydore.
What a great effort. The first junior ever to win an open Ironman. Grant Kenny, Alexander Headlands, winning the Johnson's Wax Ironman Championship of Australia.
Well, Grant Kenny, you've just had time for a minute or so to recover your breath. How do you feel?
Feel great.
You're the youngest ever to win an Ironman event, 16 years of age. How did you feel before the race?
I felt all right. I was nervous, I guess you can expect that, but I was a little bit confident. You know, I knew I'd done the work all year, and well, I just had to hope that I put everything together on the day.
I think your father was nearly as excited as you, because he won one of the first Ironman races ever held here. Hayden Kenny, your father.
Yeah, he won the first Australian Ironman.
I remember crossing the line and I had that really mixed feeling because I had that sense of elation and relief and so on. I had to rush off to the presentation, and the junior guys were lined up already for what was my next race. And I still had just as much ambition to win that race.
Could this young boy from Alexander Headlands win the double, do something that no one's ever done in the history of surf life saving?
Ski was first, and in the junior, you know, I sort of relied on ski. It was my strongest leg, and of all the races to have had a bad ski leg, it was the final of the junior.
And we can see Grant Kenny there back in about 6th or 7th place at the present time, backing up to try and make this 2 in a row. And let's work it out. He's exactly in 7th place at the present time. And Kenny, in the last 20 metres of that ski section into the swim, has now gone from 7th to 3rd place. And looking at the styles of those two swimmers, John, it does appear that Grant Kenny is a better swimmer. And he's making up ground here pretty quickly.
He was this kid who looked a superb athlete. He was very well spoken, even though he was young and inexperienced. He had a father looking after him that everybody knew. And so there were all these elements that created this really dramatic moment.
We must remember the junior has never won the senior Ironman championship, and Kenny has just successfully won that. That's the Johnson Ironman Championship of Australia. And here he is returning back to the beach, picking up this little chop that gives him a tremendous advantage. He's done it again. He's just got to hold this through to the beach.
What Grant achieved at Maroochydore back in the 80s it's never been done again. And I don't think in this era anyone's going to be able to do it again. I feel like Grant Kenny started something at that Nationals. He did something that was just incredible that people just thought wasn't possible.
I must say, at the age of 25, looking on, I felt that history was being made, and it's now turned out that those two events that day put Surf Life Saving Ironman on the map.
There he is, the greatest effort ever in surfing history. Grant Kenny, Alexander Headlands, winner of the Johnson Wax Ironman Championship of Australia, followed immediately by the Junior Ironman Championship of Australia, a feat never done before.
And we are breaking free.